know what that means. We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn a Twitter handle, Smell that? God, it's the smell of excellence right there. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind! And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, June 4th, 2022. Happy June, everyone. Month of June has begun. The summer is rocking and rolling, and we got a shit ton to talk about. And I got a shit ton of energy pumping through my fucking veins right now. And of course, it's one of the best days of the week, Saturdays. Why? Because I'm live on YouTube. I make Saturdays. Saturdays, if Sundays are owned by the NFL, then DJ Storms owns Saturdays. Just to let y'all know. Yes, Hooligan, we are all fucking marks. Everyone's a mark for DJ Storms. Let's be real here. We got Hooligan. We got Alex Mercado. We got the Final Hoss. We got DJ Sums. We got DD. Nice, decent little audience to start the chat. Nice, decent little audience to start the chat. So let's see if we can boost that audience. I want to get a large crowd on tap. But we have a shit ton to talk about, from MJF's promo of the fucking millennium all the way to CM Punk and the injury that he sustained. We're going to be talking about that. We got a lot of news to talk about, including why there wasn't a casino battle royale at Double or Nothing. Seth Rollins was watching the AEW media scrum. I mean, of course he fucking does. And of course, we got 5 weekly shows to go over. We have a shit ton to talk about as the Summer of Storms kickoff tour has entered its final weekend. The last 2 weeks have been fucking crazy. I've had a phenomenal time, and I'm glad that each and every single one of you have been watching my videos. You've been tuning in. You've been supporting me. It really does mean the world to me, and I really do hope that we can gain even more supporters. I had a real fun time this past week on Tuesday. We were live on Tuesday evening with Jay Alletto for the rundown for Hell in a Cell. If you want to go check that out, the link is in the description. As well as the rundown for NXT In Your House, we did a little bit of goofing off. We actually invaded Earl's stream. We actually invaded Top Rope Squishy's stream. Of course, Courtney Holland, she is not a fan of the Jericho Appreciation Society. I'm a fan of the Jericho Appreciation Society because, well, let's be real here. Well, I'm a sports entertainer. I could be a great fucking sports entertainer. The Jericho Appreciation Society, for 11 straight weeks, the standard bearer of sports entertainers. Love it. Fucking love it. But I was live on Tuesday for the rundown for NXT In Your House. We talked about NXT. We goofed off a little bit. We had some fun. It was a light audience, but if you want to go check that out, it was kind of one of my more less serious streams. I didn't really have too much energy, but we had a fun time. That link is also in the description, as well as the rundown for Hell in a Cell with Jay Alletto. And then on Monday, I was live for the rewind for AEW Double or Nothing 2022. Go and check that out if you missed it. We discussed a shit ton of material stemming from the Hardy Boys and Young Bucks match to the amazing Anarchy in the Arena match to MJF to CM Punk and Hangman Page to the tag team titles. We discussed a shit ton of material during the rewind for AEW Double or Nothing. That is also in the description. If you missed it, you can go check that out after the stream is over. Please make sure, if you haven't already done so, to follow me on social media at HistoryMakerDJS. That is at HistoryMakerDJS, both on Twitter and Instagram. You can add me on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure you like the official DJ Storms business page on Facebook, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group. Of course, that is on Facebook. Only the elite members of the DJ Storms Posse get to join the Posse group chat on Facebook. All of those links are in the description. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be live again on YouTube for the rewind for WWE Hell in a Cell. Not Hell in a Cell. NXT In Your House. The rewind for Hell in a Cell, that's live on Monday. That's going to be live on Monday at 2 p.m. The rewind for NXT In Your House is going to be live tomorrow, Sunday, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, specifically because NXT In Your House is live tonight, and then tomorrow night we have Hell in a Cell. So 2 more streams, one tomorrow at 2 p.m., and then one on Monday at 2 p.m., and the Summer of Storms kickoff tour will officially be over. I will not be live next weekend. I will be celebrating a few things. One of my sisters are graduating. They're graduating 8th grade. They'll be heading into high school. I'm going to celebrate with her. And then, of course, it is my uncle's birthday next week. So I will not be live next week. You guys can survive a week without me, okay? You can survive a week without me. You had 2 straight weeks of me streaming almost every fucking day. I think you guys can handle. You guys can handle just 1 fucking week without me. I will be back on the weekend of June 18th. I will be back in time for Forbidden Door, but next week I will be taking a break. Of course, if you haven't already done so, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You got to make sure that you hit the like button. It is extremely vital that when you come on in and you hit that like button, if you're not hitting the like button, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. It is absolutely fucking imperative that you hit that fucking like button because it helps me out, helps the stream out, helps the channel out, helps everyone out related to DJ Storms. Of course, you got to share out the stream, hit the like button, share out the stream on all platforms of social media, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever social media platforms that you may be using, share it out on social media. Of course, hit the subscribe button and hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube because it's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious Steinberg and chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me a minute. Earl Cole's not here yet. I'm sure we'll see him at some point today in the stream, but we're going to light it up on the channel anyway. We're going to light it up right here with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of I actually shaved today. I touched it up a little bit, so I should look. I look pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. Of course, everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister. Anyway, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. Enough of the chit-chat. Let's get straight into the festivities here on the LFU. Let's start off small. Let's start off small with some reports. Dave Meltzer confirmed that Colt Cabana has signed a new AEW deal extension and will be wrestling under the Ring of Honor Reboot brand once Tony Khan figures out the platform that Ring of Honor will debut on a weekly basis. I like this. This is a great move. Colt Cabana is a Ring of Honor veteran. Colt Cabana is a very, very good professional wrestler, and he could teach a lot of the young talent over there. He could grant some advice to a lot of the talent down there. And on top of that, we could very well have Colt Cabana transition into being more of a backstage correspondent, a producer, almost a general manager that's not on television on a weekly basis in order to help Tony Khan manage Ring of Honor. Because Tony Khan, I do not want Tony Khan to wear himself thin. Tony Khan obviously is going to need help. So hopefully, I'd like to see Colt Cabana transition into more of a backstage correspondent, see what he can bring to the table as far as a creative aspect goes when it comes to Ring of Honor. But Colt Cabana has indeed signed a new AEW contract extension, and it was actually the Young Bucks that wanted him to re-sign. So they persuaded Mr. Cabana to re-sign, and hopefully we should have Colt Cabana on the new Ring of Honor reboot brand sooner rather than later. I will keep you up to date on when that is coming back. Dave Meltzer, he provided us an update on why Double or Nothing was over 4 hours long, and it was actually not to counter the NBA playoffs. This is actually an interesting piece of information. It was not to counter the NBA playoffs. It was actually because of Martha Hart. He stated, and I quote, he, Tony Khan, wanted Martha Hart to say as much as she wanted to, so he bought the extra hour of the pay-per-view. Once he had the extra hour, and considering that her speech wasn't all that long, he then added 2 more matches to the pay-per-view, end quote. Now, I understand wanting to give Martha Hart some time, but if you knew that Martha Hart's speech wasn't going too long, then there was no reason to add more matches to the show. If you wanted Martha Hart to get enough time for her speech, you could have moved a couple of matches. Like I said on the rewind for Double or Nothing, you could have moved a couple of matches from the main show to the pre-show. It wouldn't have made a difference. We still would have gotten the same match that we would have gotten with Darby and Kyle. We would have gotten the same match that we got with Anna Jay and Jade Cargill. We would have gotten the same match that we got with American Top Team, Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti. It would have been the same exact fucking match. Why exactly did we need an extra hour on the show and have it go until nearly 1 in the fucking morning? Now, that's not to say it was a bad show. It wasn't. It was a great show. And there was a lot of things to like about the show. But at the end of the day, you wore the crowd thin at some points in the show because they were hot all night. But at certain points in the show, they were kind of dead. But at the end of it all, there was no reason to add another hour of the pay-per-view just for Martha Hart. If Martha Hart's speech wasn't going to go all that long, then again, at the end of the day, you could have easily moved some of the matches to the pre-show to actually manage the time better. Revolution was their best show to date, and one of the main reasons why is because the mat formatting, the show formatting was absolutely perfect. 3 matches on the pre-show, 9 matches on the main show. If you're going to do 12 matches, you need to make sure that you format the show correctly. We didn't need a fucking pre-show in which 50 to 55 minutes of the entire goddamn pre-show was nothing more than promo packages that we've already seen leading up to Double or Nothing. We did not need that. If you're going to do 12 to 13 matches, you got to put 3 of those fucking matches on the pre-show. No fucking excuses about it. But other than that, the show was very good. But that's why the show went longer than usual. Tony Khan also commented on the AEW media scrum. He commented as to why there wasn't a casino battle royale. Now, I did not watch the AEW media scrum. I was unaware of everything that went down at the AEW media scrum. I saw bits and pieces of it, but I did not see the full thing. Apparently, he answered the question as to why there wasn't a casino battle royale on the media scrum. And he stated that 21 entrants would have been a bit too much, and it's a rather long match as well. He preferred a great match with Darby Allin and Kyle O'Reilly over the Battle Royal, which I understand. That I am not mad about. I get where Tony Khan is coming from there. And to be quite honest, I actually do believe that we're going to see the Casino Battle Royale again. We're going to see that again at some point. And I'm guessing we'll probably see that maybe sometime this summer. Because CM Punk is going to need a challenger. Maybe Jon Moxley gets a challenger in the Casino Battle Royale for Fyter Fest. Or potentially Fight for the Fallen. Either way, I'm assuming that we could very well get a match between Jon Moxley and someone at one of the specials over the summer. We already got Road Rager confirmed for June 15th. We got Blood and Guts on the 29th. I'm assuming that we're going to get a casino battle royale to determine who exactly is going to be fighting the interim world champion, which I assume would be Jon Moxley, at some point in time in July before Punk comes back, because I don't expect Punk to be out that long. If it's a foot injury and he's got a broken foot, he gets the surgery, he'll be fine in about 6 to 8 weeks. So Punk would be back before All Out. I'm assuming we'll see the Casino Battle Royale at some point in the summer to determine a challenger for the interim world champion, which I believe is going to be Jon Moxley at the end of the day. But that's why there wasn't a Casino Battle Royale at Double or Nothing. Here's an interesting piece of news. During the AEW media scrum after Double or Nothing, Seth Rollins was actually spotted in the Twitter live stream watching the show. His username at WWE Rollins came up. However, he did not comment in the live stream on Twitter. I mean, I find it so funny. I find it so funny how Seth Rollins claims that AEW is the minor leagues and he does all this shit to make fun of AEW, but yet he's watching the fucking media scrum. I mean, Lord knows where he got that fucking content that he said on Monday Night Raw with Cody Rhodes. He said that shit specifically to, because he saw the media scrum. He said that shit specifically to get under Cody Rhodes' skin, and he said that shit to make the program more interesting. And where did he get that from? So the media scrum. He got the inspiration while watching the fucking AEW media scrum. Find it so funny. And Seth Rollins, he's actually one of WWE's butt puppets. He's one of Vince McMahon's top tier cocksuckers. He really is. I love Rollins, but he's a corporate dick rider. And I find it funny that he's watching the media scrum. I got a report from What Culture. Apparently, What Culture is saying that Thunder Rosa was frustrated with the lack of AEW television time, which I completely understand. I completely understand that. That makes perfect sense. I get that you had to focus on the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament. That makes sense, but at the end of it all, there's no reason now, after Double or Nothing, there's no reason why Thunder Rosa should not be in a prominent position and she should not be on television on a weekly basis. She wasn't on television this past Wednesday because reportedly, I believe it was according to Dave Meltzer, she was ill. She came down with an illness and she was sent home. That I understand, but after she gets back, there's no reason why Thunder Rosa should not be on Dynamite on a consistent basis. Very, very, very weird scenario. I don't know why, even with the Owen Hart Cup tournament for the women, I'm not sure why that Thunder Rosa wasn't on television, but that right there, clear-cut mishap by Tony Khan, clear-cut botch right there. And I'd like to hope that since Double or Nothing's over, and she had that great match with Serena Deeb, an excellent women's title match with Serena Deeb, I'd like to hope that now we get to see Thunder Rosa on television more in a more prominent role. I'd love to see her against a Ty Conti, a Tony Storm, a Ruby Soho, potentially a Chris Statlander. There's a lot of scenarios that you could put Thunder Rosa in. I actually see a Jade Cargill inevitably losing the TBS championship, and then Jade Cargill could move up the rankings, and she could very well face off against Thunder Rosa. That would be an interesting match in its own right. But Thunder Rosa, I really do hope she is given a lot more than she's already been given in the last 2 months. She needs something to really spark up the interest in her reign. The match with Deeb was a great starting point. Now I hope they build on top of that. And I hope that, considering that she's sick right now, I really do hope that she recovers very, very quickly. Sean Ross Sapp. He reported that Sonya Deville was actually supposed to be a part of SmackDown last week. She was supposed to be accompanying Nikki A.S.H. to the ring. However, that was scrapped. He stated, and I quote, Sonya Deville was listed as accompanying Nikki A.S.H. to her match with Alexa Bliss, but didn't. So apparently we were supposed to get another match between Nikki Trash and Alexa Bliss, with Sonya Deville accompanying Nikki Trash. That didn't happen. To be quite honest, I'm actually glad it didn't fucking happen because I could not fucking take another Alexa Bliss Nikki Trash match. And Sonya Deville, the fact that she would be caught in the middle of that bullshit That right there just pisses me off because Sonya Deville, she has worked her fucking ass off to get better. She has busted her ass week in and week out. She's tried to turn chicken shit into chicken salad with this horrendous fucking authority angle that she had. And now it's finally over. Now I don't know why she's not being used in more of a prominent role, considering that she is indeed one of the better individuals in the division that can actually fucking wrestle. Yet they continue to push women like Charlotte Flair. She can wrestle, but I mean, we've already seen her in the spotlight numerous amounts of times. They continue to push women like Lacey Evans. They continue to push women like Ronda Rousey, who's not very good in the ring at all. They continue to push women like Alexa Bliss. They continue to push the same fucking people over and over and over again. It's absolutely fucking unbearable. It's absolutely fucking unbearable. I don't know why Sonya Deville is being treated as nothing more than an afterthought. Sonya Deville should be in a prime position to potentially become a women's champion down the line. Sonya Deville has definitely earned a spot as a top-tier contender in the women's division. The fact that she's not just goes to show you WWE's lack of creativity, lack of talent awareness, and they continuously push the same people over and over again because they're lazy. I wouldn't be shocked if Sonya Deville is fired. I really wouldn't. Here's another piece of information from Dave Meltzer. WWE currently has no plans for a women's tag team title tournament despite it being announced. Really? Really? Now, this is interesting. Dave Meltzer, he stated on Wrestling Observer Radio, and I quote, "That women's tag team tournament is dead in the water. They had an idea for a 4 women's team matchup. It was pitched, but it was never signed off on as like a week ago." End quote. Dead in the water. I mean, are you surprised? I'm not fucking surprised at all. But WWE will never openly come out and admit that. WWE will never openly come out and announce that. They would never ultimately come out and just retire the championships. Never. Why? Because then Sasha and Naomi will look like fucking goddesses. Sasha and Naomi will look like the smartest people in the entire wrestling industry if they do that. If WWE announces that they're retiring the women's tag team titles, if they announce that there's no tournament and we're going to retire the titles, Sasha and Naomi will be looked at as the fucking queens of the mountain. And then WWE can't do that. WWE can never be in a position where they look bad. WWE can never be in a position where they look like they're in the wrong. WWE's always right. Oh, we're never wrong. We're always in the right. Sasha and Naomi are unprofessional. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. I'm not surprised by this at all, but WWE will never openly admit that. Why? Because again, then they would look bad and Naomi and Sasha will look like the smartest individuals in the wrestling business right now. Sasha, I have a feeling, is gone. Sasha, I have a feeling Sasha's more gone than Naomi. The only way that Naomi would even come back, and it's a slim chance, but Naomi could very well come back if they play up to her liking. And her liking at this rate would be for her to come back as a member of the Bloodline and beat Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship and have a long, lucrative, fruitful championship title reign. Now, how willing is WWE to do that? I don't know. But I don't think they could bribe Sasha to come back at all. To be quite honest with you, if Sasha actually comes back, I would lose a little respect for her as a individual, because why would you come back after everything that WWE put you through, after everything that WWE did to devalue you, devalue the women's division? Why would you even entertain the idea of even coming back? Why? Naomi, unless Naomi is given the opportunity to tag team with her husband and her cousins and her brother-in-law, the only way that I could see this happening is if they do that and Naomi beats Ronda Rousey for the championship. Other than that, I don't see a single reason why Naomi would come back. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. But shout out to Earl Cole. Earl Cole, he provided me the report of Dave Meltzer and how the women's tag team title tournament's dead in the water. So shout out to Earl Cole for that one. Brian Alvarez, he noted that Jeff Hardy and Adam Cole were both pulled from the massive 10-man tag team match on Dynamite because of injury. Jeff was reportedly a mess after the Darby Allin match, and Matt actually confirmed, Matt Hardy, I believe it was on his Twitch stream. It was either on his Twitch stream or on his YouTube channel. But Matt Hardy confirmed that Jeff Hardy was actually knocked out, and he was actually knocked loopy in the match. I don't know by what, but he was legitimately off. And my guess is that over the last week, he's been in concussion protocol. And he's wanted to make sure that he is not severely injured. So Jeff Hardy, he was not 100% going into the match because of the Darby Allin match, and he got knocked out in the middle of the match. So he was legitimately hurt. And Adam Cole, he was dealing with a shoulder injury. That I can understand. That I can point out the spot in which it happened. When Adam Cole took that corner Uranagi by Samoa Joe at Double or Nothing, that is where he got hurt. So that I can clearly understand. That I get. That I can pinpoint. Now, as far as Jeff Hardy goes, I really do hope that Jeff Hardy, he comes back better, stronger than ever. I really do hope that everything is okay with Jeff Hardy, and I really do hope that in the end, both of those individuals, they get back on the same page, and we could see the Hardys with one last tag team title run. But for now, Jeff Hardy, I would like to believe he's in concussion protocol. I'd like to believe that he is just a little off his rocker after that very physical match with the Young Bucks that we had on Sunday. And hopefully he should come back stronger than ever. Adam Cole, I feel as though will make a quicker recovery than Jeff Hardy. Adam Cole actually didn't even look like there was anything wrong with him. But, hey, there's a shoulder injury. He caught it at Double or Nothing. He'll come back stronger than ever. Jake Atlas. Not a good week to be Jake Atlas. According to PW Insider, WWE, former WWE star, current AEW star, Jake Atlas was actually arrested for battery. He was reportedly drunk at a bar, a club and a bar, and he got into an argument with his partner who was, quote-unquote, showing more attention to another chick at the bar than he was to him, which sparked a verbal argument, and then it got reportedly physical from there. Now, I'm not sure what exactly took place. We just know the gist of everything going on over here. I don't think any of us are going to know what really happened other than the people that were physically there. But again, a situation like this, it just goes to show you why I don't drink. This goes to, I've been legal for over 2 years and I haven't taken one single solitary sip of alcohol. Just goes to show you that shit like this, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I really don't know why people choose to drink and take it over the limit. I'm not sure why we need to drink and potentially risk our reputation because, again, you don't really know what you're doing when you're drunk. You think you're invincible. You think you're untouchable. And Jake Atlas, at the end of the day, Jake Atlas, he fucked up. Jake Atlas fucked up. Not a good look for Jake Atlas at all, considering that this month is actually Pride Month. Now, I don't really give a shit for Pride Month. I actually believe it causes a lot more division than it does unity, if I'm not mistaken. I don't understand why we need to glorify LGBTQ people, considering they're not anything special. No one in this world is special. I'm not special. You're not special. Nobody's special. There's only one special person that ever walked the face of this earth, and he was nailed to a cross. Let's be real here. Nobody's special. We're all just normal human people at the end of the day. I am no different than Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson's a normal individual. I'm a normal individual. Nobody is special nowadays. People need to get with the fucking program. I actually think the Pride Month causes a lot more division than it does unity, but again, that's just me. But it's not a very good look for Jake Atlas, considering it is Pride Month, and he is employed to the second biggest wrestling company on the planet, and people are much more harder on AEW than they are WWE, if I'm going to be quite honest. Every single passing year, it seems like people just look for an excuse to shit on AEW while discrediting all the negative that WWE does. It's like fucking Democrats. It's like fucking liberals. They constantly discredit all the good things that Donald Trump did. Meanwhile, he was probably the best president of our lifetime. Meanwhile, Joe Biden has made this country into a fucking shithole. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. But Jake Atlas, he fucked up. I don't know the full story. I'm not really looking to know the full story. I'd like to believe that he will be okay in the end, and let this be a lesson to him. Let this be a lesson to him. Let's talk about the two big topics in this week. MJF. Let's start with MJF. Start with MJF. Now, a lot of people going into Double or Nothing, we all believed that this MJF scenario, this entire MJF scenario was a legit shoot. We believed that he was legitimately pissed off. He was legitimately angry. He felt wronged. He felt he should be getting paid more. He's sick and tired of the WWE guys coming in. But after Wednesday, holy shit, there is no doubt in my mind that this was all an elaborate plan from the start. And I fucking love this. I love this. I don't even have enough words to describe how good of a promo we got on Wednesday. It was absolutely fucking unbelievable. Now, according to PW Insider, MJF will not be on the road for at least the next couple of TV tapings. Now, I actually see that happening regardless of this being a work, because this is to sell the storyline of MJF being disgruntled with Tony Khan. Now, PW Insider reported, and I quote, the expectation is that he will not be on the road for at least the next several TV tapings, possibly longer. MJF, after this report came out, which was legitimately 24 hours after the fact, MJF was then booked for Dynamite. And he cut a legendary fucking promo. Now, according to Fightful, there was a sit-down between Tony Khan and MJF that was set to take place on Monday, Memorial Day, but no one knows if it actually took place. Now, I do not believe that the sit-down was planned literally a day after Double or Nothing. I do not buy that at all. And the reason why is because I don't believe Tony Khan would make a sit-down between him and MJF official behind the scenes in the middle of all of this, when MJF right now, the tension between MJF and Tony Khan is that of a raging inferno. It's that of a raging inferno. So I don't understand why Tony Khan would do that. I believe Tony Khan would probably let MJF take a few weeks off. That way the inferno will die down into nothing more than smoldering embers, and then he can sit down with MJF and have the conversation. If this was a legit shoot, there's no way that a sit-down would be booked immediately after Double or Nothing. That is way too soon. Everyone's emotions and tensions would still be running high at that time, and they need to calm down. I don't buy that at all. That would actually be a bad business move, because if you are having a sit-down with one of your employees in which the tensions and the emotional turmoil is running rampant, then more likely than not, someone's going to say something that's going to piss the other guy off. No one's going to get anywhere. But I don't believe that this sit-down was ever even scheduled to take place. MJF, he was booked for Dynamite. No one knew what was going on. Everyone thought that this was going to be the last time that we saw MJF on Dynamite. And MJF cut what was perhaps the greatest promo of the millennium. The greatest promo since the CM Punk Pipebomb. People are comparing this to the CM Punk Pipebomb left and right. MJF came out to speak. We'll talk about this. MJF came out to speak. He got the mic. He soaked in the booze. He looked around. He said that he's in a lot of pain, But all you people want to do is hear me talk, right? But this is Max Friedman talking. Hey, boss man, I know there's a lot of executives backstage from Time Warner to watch your product. It would be a real shame if something were to happen. You've wanted to sit down with me and talk things out for a while, but it's too little too late. Crowd chanted, shut the fuck up. He talked about writing his own story because in the beginning it was all friends wrestling. He talked about how he still gets no respect. Nobody is on my level. Everything I touch turns to gold. I'm expected to hit grand slams, and I do that shit on a weekly basis. I'm the 26-year-old prodigy that is constantly held under a microscope, and I carry this company on my back. And then he stops and he goes, you know, it's funny. I hear booing, but I also hear clapping. Where were you guys over the weekend when you were calling me an unprofessional piece of shit? Right then and there, I knew this is all a work. This is not legit. This isn't a shoot. This is all a work. He goes, what about you people in the back? You want my spot? You can have it because I don't want to be here anymore. Again, right then and there, work. He goes, all of you are uneducated marks. You don't know shit. Your opinions suck. Your opinions change at the drop of a dime. For instance, you pretended like I couldn't wrestle for the longest time. But how could he possibly be the best? Well, newsflash, I am the best in the world. I make you feel, and I don't need to do a bunch of bullshit to get you there. You take me for granted, and so does the big man in the back. You know who the second biggest minute-for-minute draw is? It's me. But whatever you do, don't tell the big boy in the back, don't tell Statman Tony to pay the man who's been busting his ass since day one. No, instead he's going to hoard that money so he can give it to all the new ex-WWE guys he's bringing in. Again, work. And then he goes, none of them can lace my goddamn boots. I mean, if anyone is taking what happened on Saturday, this was all an elaborate work. The Fan Fest, the plane ticket, all of these reports leading up to that weekend, it was all an elaborate work. And then Tony Khan goes, hey, or MJF goes, hey, boss man, would you treat me better if I was an ex-WWE guy? I don't want to wait until 2024. Tony Khan, I want you to fire me. He then cursed out a producer who was counting him down. He's like, don't count me down, you piece of shit. Tony, I want you to fire me. You fucking mark. Fire me. He kept on screaming into the mic, fire me. And then they cut his fucking mic. They bleeped out the fucking mark part, but they cut off his mic, bleeped him out, and they go to commercial. This is, again, the greatest promo since the pipe bomb. I don't even know how well this was planned out. I honestly don't even have words to describe this. This was absolutely fucking amazing. This was absolutely fucking brilliant. This was fucking astonishing. I was legitimately sitting there going, holy shit, what am I watching? And let me tell you something. There's people who are actually mad about this. What are you mad about? It's not going to. People say that it's a terrible move by Tony Khan. It's not going to benefit anyone. Are you serious? You clearly, again, you are just like the marks that MJF were talking about. If you are against this, then in the words of MJF, you don't know shit. This is exactly what professional wrestling needs. This is the type of shit that makes professional wrestling so good because it blurs the lines of fantasy and reality. No one, and I mean no one across any sport can tell me that there is another type of sport, another type of thing, another type of form of entertainment that is able to captivate you like this. You can't. You honestly can't. This shit right here is exactly what pro wrestling needs, because this is going to make AEW bigger, this is going to make MJF bigger, and this is going to make Tony Khan a shit ton of money. This is inevitably going to make MJF the best heel. He surpassed Roman Reigns with this one promo. He surpassed and put Roman Reigns to shame with this one promo. MJF, from here on out, he's the best fucking heel in the business right now. There's no fucking debating that. MJF took everyone. He took the wrestling world by the fucking balls, and he made himself into a made man. And you're legit mad that they fucked with fans' money? Listen, I understand that if you go out there and you pay to see MJF, but here's the thing. It's not a personal attack on anyone. This angle could have happened at any given moment. It just so happened the weekend of Double or Nothing. This elaborate work was in the plans between MJF and Tony Khan for a long, long time. Everyone got worked. Everyone got played. All these dirt sheets got played. All the fans at Double or Nothing got played. Everybody got played. I understand if you're mad because you paid money to see MJF, but again, you're not going to be in a scenario where you're never going to meet MJF. This wasn't your only opportunity. You're going to have an opportunity to meet MJF again because he's sticking with AEW for the long run. And this promo proved it. This was all a work. You're going to get a chance to meet MJF. You're going to get a chance to go to a show again. And again, they didn't even, it's not like they took your money and then gave you nothing. They offered you refunds and they offered you a chance to meet more superstars employed by AEW. So it's not like they robbed you. It's not like they robbed you. And it's not like they did this because they knew who you were and they knew certain people were coming to Double or Nothing and they wanted to fuck over the fans. They did this as a work, and it could have been on any given week, on any given day, with any given fans. It didn't act as a personal attack. There's no reason for you to get mad. If I was a part of that audience, if I was a part of FanFest, and I was a part of that scenario, knowing what I knew after Wednesday, and I would be thinking to myself, holy shit, I was just a part of the greatest wrestling work of the fucking decade. This is amazing. I was single-handedly a part of the greatest wrestling work that AEW has ever pulled. This is the type of shit that Tony Khan needs to do. He needs to take risks. He needs to take chances. He needs to open his mind. He needs to push the boundaries. He needs to step over lines that he's never stepped over before. And again, for those of you still saying that it's a shoot, are you honestly going to tell me that it's still a shoot after that promo that MJF cut? There's no way. There's no way after that promo that MJF cut, if he was legitimately frustrated and he was legitimately pissed off and he was leaving, there is no fucking way that he would be able to cut that promo on Dynamite saying exactly what he said if this was a shoot, especially if there were Time Warner executives backstage to watch AEW that night. There is no way that with all of those things intact, the executives, the weekend, the plane ticket, the fan fest, the promo, there's no way that if this was a shoot that MJF would be allowed to go out there and say exactly what he said. It's impossible. It's impossible. If this was a shoot, Tony Khan would have fired him right then and there on the spot. Tony Khan is not a fucking pushover. There's no way that this is a shoot. After that promo, no one can tell me that it's a shoot. And again, for those of you who are taking it personally, again, you obviously don't know what is at stake here. You don't know the greater good of business. This is exactly what AEW and professional wrestling needs, because this is going to get more people talking. This is going to make MJF into the biggest heel in the industry. And when he inevitably wins the world title, whoever beats MJF is going to be made into a made man. Whoever beats MJF is going to be made into a made man. And this is going to make him the star of the fucking decade. MJF was already a made man after that promo. After that promo, it's done. It's over. No one can touch MJF. I understand if you're pissed because you wanted to meet MJF, but again, they didn't do this to personally fuck with you. They did this specifically for the greater good of the business. They did this to make MJF into a bigger star. It could have happened at any given weekend. It just so happened to happen at Double or Nothing weekend. There's no reason for anyone to take this personally. There's no reason to think that MJF is a spoiled prick. This was a plan. This was an elaborate scheme. This was everything that we love about professional wrestling rolled up into one, in which the lines between fantasy and reality were blurred. There's no reason why anyone should be pissed off at this. The only people that should be pissed off at this is some of the higher executives that weren't aware. But MJF and Tony Khan, they didn't really trust anyone. And to be quite honest with you, I don't blame them, because nowadays, with social media and the fact that no one can keep a secret, everything has to be public, and no one can keep their mouth shut, I don't blame them for not telling anyone. And I don't blame them for not making anyone aware but themselves. This is a great thing. This was all an elaborate work, and this is a great thing. It is. And what's even crazier is 24 hours after MJF cut the fucking promo of the decade, AEW then unfollowed MJF on Twitter and removed him from the AEW roster page, as well as his merchandise. They're going all in on this, and it is a wonderful thing to see. MJF, by what happened over the course of the weekend and the elaborate work that Tony Khan and MJF pulled, legitimately made MJF into the biggest star in the wrestling industry right now. And he will go down as the biggest star of the wrestling industry, the biggest heel of the industry for the next 25 years. This is a great thing. And everyone should be in support of what happened. There's no reason for anyone to take this personally. There's no reason for anyone to call this unprofessional. These are the types of risks and chances that Vince McMahon should be taking. But he'll never do that. He'll never do that because he's a fucking pussy. Now, CM Punk. A lot of people were speculating his status coming out of Dynamite. A lot of people were speculating what CM Punk was going to say. He sent out a tweet saying that he was going to address the AEW crowd and address his future and address his championship title status. CM Punk came out to address the world championship in his career. He was walking very slow at first. This was on Rampage last night, which was a live Rampage, by the way. He was walking very slow. He looked to be fine. I didn't think that he looked to be fine. He was playing it up as if this was something severe, but he was looking fine to me. He took the mic and he looked very sad and disappointed. He was actually crying. He talked about how every bone in his body was telling him to go home, but everyone deserved an explanation. He said he had good news and bad news, and the last thing he wanted to do was make everyone feel like they were disappointed in him. He said he's loved every single time he's been in this ring. He started crying, and then he revealed that he is injured and he needs surgery. Now, what was the injury? I don't know. It could have been a foot injury. It could have been a knee injury. But when he dove into the crowd at Dynamite this past Wednesday, it looked like he may have caught the barricade and he may have broken something in his foot. Now, if that's the case, then I don't think this should be too long of a recovery. And if that's the case, then good. So he talked about how he needs surgery, but he can still go on one hell of a run. The wheels are still there. Just one of them happens to be broken, and it hurts like hell. That being said, let's talk about this title. I was thinking about relinquishing it, but Tony Khan said no. And I'll tell you this is just a bump in the road, just like TK said. Sometimes I get down on myself, but I promise that I will not let doubt creep in. The get back will be bigger than the setback. And when I come back stronger than ever, I will prove why I am the best in the world. This was a great promo. And it was a very unfortunate set of circumstances. When CM Punk was talking, I've said it once or twice before. I think that CM Punk is a fucking retard as an individual. I've called him out for being a liberal piece of shit, how he comes from a dump like Chicago and all this. I'm very hard on CM Punk personally. I love him as a wrestler. I'm very hard on CM Punk personally. I'm not going to be hard on CM Punk personally here. I'm not going to be hard on CM Punk. I'm not going to be hard on Phil Brooks personally here because after that promo, you can feel the passion that exudes from Phil Brooks and how his love for professional wrestling was rejuvenated by Tony Khan, how legit he felt, how heartbroken he is that he's going to miss some time, even if it's a short period of time, which I expect it to be a short period of time. It's not going to be an extended period of time. It's a very, very, very unfortunate set of circumstances, especially when he was going to face Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. It hurt. It hurt, really. It really did hurt listening to Punk's promo, but I am not too worried about it. I have a feeling that considering it's just a foot injury, I do believe that CM Punk is going through successful surgery right now as we speak, and I do believe that in the end, CM Punk will be back before the summer ends. And him being back before the summer ends, this is a great thing because we officially have a plan to determine an interim AEW World Heavyweight Champion. So we got a battle royal on next week's Dynamite. The winner of the battle royal will face Jon Moxley in the main event of Dynamite. Jon Moxley, who is the number 1 ranked individual in the entire company, which I'm very pleased to see that they are putting the rankings to use. He is undefeated this year. He's the number 1 ranked individual in the entire company. That's not a champion. The winner of that match between Moxley and the Battle Royal winner will go on to fight for the interim AEW World title at Forbidden Door. And their opponent will be determined at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion. Hiroshi Tanahashi will be facing off against Hiroki Goto. And the winner of that match will fight either Jon Moxley or the Battle Royal winner at Forbidden Door. This is a great thing. And this right here, this goes to show you that Tony Khan's a very, very, very good promoter in the scenario of a crisis in which he needs to change plans at the drop of a dime. This is a great thing. Jon Moxley and Tanahashi getting the match, fighting for the interim AEW World Championship in the main event of Forbidden Door. This is a great thing because, A, it gets Jon Moxley back in the spotlight. He becomes a 2-time interim AEW World Champion. Then, when Punk comes back, which I do believe will be probably towards the end of July, beginning of August, this will inevitably result in Punk versus Moxley at All Out. And if this results in Punk versus Moxley at All Out, then we get the unification match in the main event of All Out. This is a great way to give us Jon Moxley versus CM Punk, and I'm sure a lot of people have wanted to see Jon Moxley versus CM Punk. Then MJF, he could stay off of television. This is a great thing because MJF, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm keeping MJF off of television for the entire summer. And what I'm going to do is I'm playing up the fact that he's gone and no one wants him here anymore. I'm having Punk beat Moxley at All Out, regain the championship, and then I am having CM Punk. I'm having CM Punk hold the title up high at All Out. I'm having MJF come through the crowd, attack CM Punk, and then we can get the security guards, the police involved, and then MJF just hightails it out of the ring, and we are off to the races, and we are off towards the build, towards Punk and MJF, either at Dynamite Grand Slam, on MJF's home turf, or at Full Gear. That would be great. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Punk. If all goes well, he should be back before All Out. I'm looking at Punk and Moxley in the unification match at All Out. And I'm looking at Punk and MJF starting the build immediately after Punk becomes the champion. And then Punk inevitably drops the title to MJF towards the end of the year, probably at Full Gear. That's what I'm looking at. And if I'm Tony Khan, I am putting Full Gear in Plainview, Long Island, New York. I'm putting Full Gear in Long Island, New York, with MJF going over in the exact same manner that Punk went over Cena in Chicago. I think that this injury for Punk, it's not a bad thing at all. We get Moxley and Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. Punk comes back. If the injury's not that serious, we get Punk versus Moxley at All Out. And then we get Punk versus MJF at Full Gear with MJF winning the championship. I don't have an issue with this at all. I don't have an issue with this at all. It's heartbreaking. Trust me, it really is. It's heartbreaking for Punk. Heartbreaking for Punk. But I do believe that he's going to come back bigger, better, stronger than ever. And I do believe that Jon Moxley will inevitably be the new world champion, with Jon Moxley inevitably dropping the title to Punk in the unification match and then MJF beating Punk. But I am absolutely keeping MJF off of television for the time being. We'll see what happens, but that's the news. That's all the news. A very newsworthy week in terms of professional wrestling, and I will keep you guys updated on any and all material going into Forbidden Door and any and all material as it relates to CM Punk and MJF. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. And we are almost an hour into the stream. We're going to get into the weekly show reviews. We're going to get into the weekly show reviews. It is hot as hell outside. It's hot as hell outside, but I'm still here, and I am rocking and rolling here. Let's check the chat. I see Dylan Ketchum just joined, and we just hit 10 likes. We just hit 10 likes. If you're coming on in, be sure to hit the like button when you come on in and share the stream out. And Psycho Dad Jesse definitely put it to us best. The summer of MJF has begun, and it is going to be a great, great thing to watch. But I greatly appreciate all of you sticking by me in this chat. Thank you to DD. Thank you to Psycho Dad Jesse, Hula Grim, Dylan Ketchum, DJ Sums. Thank you all. You guys are phenomenal at what you guys do. Let's keep the chat rocking and rolling. We got 11 likes now. We got 11 likes. Excellent, excellent stuff. Share out the stream, people. We're going into Monday Night Raw next, which was a terrible fucking show, as per usual. Let us discuss the horrendous fucking show that was Monday Night Raw. Becky Lynch kicked off the show. Typical shit. Becky Lynch talked about how she didn't know if she could move on without her title. Anna Lopez. Look at this. Anna Lopez. She comes from Top Rope Squishy's channel. I know. I invaded Top Rope Squishy's channel on Thursday. If you haven't realized it right here, Anna, I'm a sports entertainer. I'm a sports entertainer. I think I may very well start calling myself the Wizard. We're off to see the Wizard named DJ Storms. And Anna's a very, very, very cool chick. So show some support to Anna. Anna's great. And if you can, please make sure you hit that like button. Share the stream out as well. I want to get as many people in here as possible. Maybe I'll invade Squishy's channel again. I'm not doing my show this Saturday. Maybe I might invade Squishy's channel again. Anyway, so Becky Lynch kicked off Monday Night Raw. Typical shit. She went on and on about how she couldn't survive without her title. So many people prayed for her downfall. She's got that right. I'm praying for her fucking downfall because holy shit, she fucking sucks. Becky Lynch sucks. She goes, I run on spite and coffee. Well, if Becky runs on spite and coffee, I run on rage and Sprite. I run on rage and Sprite, or rage and Mountain Dew, whichever one you choose. I prefer Sprite over Mountain Dew because Sprite, it doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup. It's just seltzer with sugar. And high fructose corn syrup, not too good for my condition. So she goes, I'm days away from regaining my title at Hell in a Cell. So Asuka comes out, doing her typical shit. She goes, ooh, you're still being a baby. Ooh. What the fuck have they done? I swear, I cannot stand this Asuka. I cannot fucking stand this Asuka. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I legitimately want to put my head to a fucking brick wall every single time I hear Asuka. She's just so fucking bad. Where's the Asuka from NXT? Give me that Asuka. Not this, fuck are you doing? She goes, nobody is ready for Asuka, not Bianca, not Becky, and not Hell in a Cell. I will be the new Raw Women's Champ. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Pass the bleach. Hand me the noose. Bianca came out. Blah, blah, blah. We get a big brawl. Becky's sent out of the ring, and we get Asuka versus Becky Lynch in a one-on-one match. Do you care? I don't fucking... I just want to get to this match and have this match be over with. I don't ever want to hear Asuka or Becky Lynch on the microphone ever again. Becky Lynch is walking out there like a discount Lady Gaga. Asuka's acting like a fucking anime porn character. And Bianca Belair and her title reign is being devalued week in and week out every single time we have these nonsensical fucking segments and promos. Now, Asuka versus Becky Lynch, they actually had a very good match. I will say that. They actually had a very good match. Becky was on commentary. She's fucking terrible. She actually called herself a wizard. And then she corrected herself and then called herself a magician. Hey, Becky, if you're a magician, can you make yourself disappear? Because then the division will be better, the title picture will be better, and the WWE product will be better. You suck. And I'm not talking about Seth Rollins. You legitimately suck at your job. I'd rather prefer you suck Seth Rollins than suck on WWE television. So coming back from commercial, we had a fall-away slam by Bianca. Asuka with some stiff strikes and a German suplex for a 2. Asuka with a missile dropkick for a 2. Asuka was dropped, and it looked like she buckled her knee, but she was selling. She looked fine as the match continued. Bianca stayed alive after a sliding knee to the chin. Bianca then rolled up Asuka for the 1-2-3. Becky then came in. She delivered a manhandle slam to both women, and then she stood tall. The match was very good, but I legitimately cannot bring myself to fully care. The match should be very good. The match at Hell in a Cell, the match itself should be good, but this is legitimately the same shit that we saw with Asuka last year. Last year, Asuka was put in a triple threat match with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair the same time last year, and she was merely there to take the pin so that way we could get a match with Charlotte and Rhea in a one-on-one capacity. This is the same exact shit that we saw last year. Instead, swap out Rhea Ripley and Charlotte for Bianca and Becky, and on Sunday, we're going to see Bianca retain by pinning Asuka, and Becky and Bianca are inevitably going to fight again, either at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. I wouldn't be surprised if Becky wins back the title. And you want to tell me that Becky actually cares about the division? Holy shit. Go sit on the retard bench to your left. Ezekiel and the Mysterios, they took on Kevin Owens and the Alpha Academy. This was a decent little match. Nothing over the top, but it was bearable. It was probably one of the most bearable things on the show. Ray and Dominic took it to Chad Gable early on. Ezekiel got in there with a triple drop kick to Otis. I will say this, Ezekiel, he's looking better and better in the ring every time we see him. Coming back from commercial, Dominic got the tag on Ezekiel. Ezekiel with a rising knee to Owens. Stinger splashes to Otis and Owens. A very nice looking electric chair powerbomb by Ezekiel. So Ezekiel, he's pulling out new shit. I appreciate that. Owens accidentally super kicked Gable. We had a double 619 on Gable and Ezekiel with a stalling brainbuster for the win. And it looks like Ezekiel is taking the momentum into his match with Owens, which, by the way, Ezekiel's actually the favorite to win the match. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I've praised Elias, Ezekiel, whatever you want to call him. I've praised him for getting better in the ring. He's gotten better in the ring. If you're telling me he hasn't, then obviously you haven't been watching. He's in the best shape of his life. He's gotten much better in the ring. He's got a very good look, but he doesn't have any fucking character. He's like a fucking piece of toast. He's dry as fuck. There's nothing to Ezekiel. Give me some actual character development with Ezekiel, and maybe I will be singing this guy's praises a little bit more. Maybe I'll be saying, hey, he's got a decent future as a mid-carder. He could be a decent U.S. champion. But no. No, he's just Elias's younger brother. Dry as fuck is Ezekiel's character. Dry. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, he came out to address his match with Seth Rollins. He soaked in all the love. He goes, I have always been a fan of Seth Rollins. He was destined to do great things. One of his teachers saw potential in him. I don't need to say his name because it's the man who raised me. I think we all know Seth Rollins lives up to the hype. Now I get my second chance. I was nervous. I could not return here with a loss. I was the better man, and it has driven Seth Rollins mad. Jealousy leads a man to do desperate measures. And trust me, I know that because everyone's jealous of me, and they go to desperate lengths to make sure my reputation is smeared, even though they know that they can't touch me. He goes, that makes Seth Rollins so dangerous, the fact that he's desperate. I need Seth to know, and I need Seth to hear me with all respect and all self-awareness and self-control. It will be locked outside of Hell in a Cell. Seth Rollins' music then hit. He came out through the crowd, coming down the aisle. He was laughing and smiling. He goes, I'll make it very easy for you to understand, Cody. I don't like you. I don't want you here. I tried to accept this new version of you, but the pandering got worse, and the Cody chants got louder, and I can't stand it any longer, said Seth Rollins. You left WWE 6 years ago because you weren't good enough. You and your little friends tried to tear down what I was building here, and then you came running back to fulfill your family legacy. Not on my watch. You don't get to be the conquering hero in my kingdom. You don't get to take a sledgehammer to the throne and then try and take that throne from me. And on Sunday, I am going to end you, and we can finally wake up from this American nightmare. This promo was fucking great. Seth Rollins, this is exactly what we need. Seth Rollins and the way that he articulated everything here against Cody and the shots that he took against Cody, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant fucking strategy. And I really do hope we see more of this shit. This is the type of shit that is going to make WWE television interesting. And I'm going to say it right here. Rollins and Cody, they have had the best program in WWE all year, even better than what Roman Reigns is doing. And I fully expect as close to a 5-star classic as you can get at Hell in a Cell. It's going to be great. So Cody, he goes, just curious, what's stopping you right now from getting in the ring? 3 little ropes, this barricade, the time for talk is over. I'm right here, let's go. Rollins teased getting in the ring. He goes, I'll see you on Sunday. He walked away like the chicken shit he is. He then turned his back. Cody hopped over the fucking barricade. We get this big fucking brawl. Cody sent Rollins through the barricade. Officials and referees came out to try and separate them. We get this big fucking melee of a brawl. This was an excellent segment. The crowd was chanting, this is awesome. I even noticed that Curtis Axel was a fucking official. I don't know what happened with Curtis Axel, but hey, Joe Henning, he's back in WWE as an official. Who would have thought? But this was awesome. This was awesome. And I cannot wait for the match. Alexa Bliss versus Doudrop followed it, and now the show, from this point on, just took a fucking nosedive. This match was garbage. Doudrop missed the Vader bomb. Alexa Bliss hit Twisted Bliss, and Alexa Bliss wins yet another match. A piss-poor excuse of a professional wrestler, Alexa Bliss is. And if you are an Alexa Bliss supporter, I fully label you a retard. I fully label you a retard. Alexa Bliss is terrible. She's fucking terrible. The thing that I'm most worried about is this. I'm worried now. Alexa Bliss, she's legitimately been the only individual that's actually been winning matches. So at this rate, the most logical step for Alexa Bliss next would be the Raw Women's Championship, right? Lord fucking help us. Lord fucking help us. If that's the case, I'm absolutely ranting beyond my imagination. I swear to God. Miz TV with the Street Profits. The Profits interrupted Miz's spit. This was fucking terrible. This resulted in the Street Profits being hype men for Hell in a Cell, only for them to mock the Miz. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. The 24/7 title crew then came out as the Profits watched. T-Bar and Apollo Crews were a part of this shit. Tozawa and Tamina fucking made out, and then Tozawa rolled up Tamina to win the 24/7 championship. If it's as ridiculous as I made it sound, that's because it was as ridiculous as I just told you. It's fucking ridiculous. I hate this shit. Mustafa Ali. yeah, they have plans for Mustafa Ali, right? Ali and Ciampa. This was a match. If Ali wins, he earns a future U.S. title opportunity. This entire segment pissed me off. And I'll explain to you why after we go through what happened here. So, Austin Theory caused a DQ. Ciampa then went up through the ramp, and Ciampa was sent to the back. Austin Theory, just Theory, the kinetic theory, the behaviorist theory, the Big Bang theory, the I wish I don't have to watch Monday Night Raw, the Monday Night Raw sucks theory. How about that fucking theory? Austin Theory caused the DQ. Ali got his match, but he said you can get the match right now. He doesn't want to wait until the future. This match went 2 minutes. Ali was absolutely fucking buried, A-Town down in about 2 minutes, and Austin Theory retains the title. And that was it. And then after Theory won, Adam Pearce came out, and he said Vince wants to see a rematch, and he wants to see a fair fight. So this Sunday at Hell in a Cell, it will be Ali and Theory for the U.S. title. This shit gave me a fucking headache, legitimately. First off, why exactly did we get Ciampa versus Ali to start off this entire spiel? Why did we get Ciampa versus Ali if it was going to end in a DQ and Austin Theory was going to give Ali the title match right then and there on Raw? That's number one. Secondly, if the title match was going to end the way it did on Monday Night Raw, only for Adam Pearce to come out and say, hey, we're going to run it back at Hell in a Cell. Why the fuck didn't you just book the fucking match at Hell in a Cell to begin with? Why did we need to go through 2 meaningless segments of Austin Theory, Ciampa, and Mustafa Ali? Why did we need to get a DQ finish? Why did Ali need to get buried in 2 minutes? Why did we need any of this shit? You know what you should have done? You should have had Theory and Ali get called into Adam Pearce's office, and Adam Pearce should have said, Vince wants to see this match in a fair fight. So you know what? The match is booked for Sunday. Easy. 35 seconds, 40 seconds of a promo, and the match is made. We did not need any of this shit. None of it. None of it. I'm telling you right now, this is the type of shit that makes Monday Night Raw absolutely fucking unbearable. This is the type of shit that is going to overcomplicate everything and make people ask more questions. Just book the fucking match to begin with instead of this complex, nonsensical road with twists and turns and ups and downs, diagonals, and over and under and up and down and hither and yon. Just book the fucking match to begin with. Another match ended in a DQ. Usos versus Matt Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura, a championship contenders match. Wow, so fucking riveting, huh? So fucking riveting. The Usos caused the DQ because Jimmy hit Riddle with his scooter, and then we get a championship match on fucking Friday. Yeah, this match, it's booked for SmackDown, but Bobby Lashley and MVP and Black Great Khali, Omos and MVP versus Bobby Lashley is on the show for Sunday. But this match, this title match, this is put on SmackDown. And then you got Ricochet and Gunther on SmackDown next week. That couldn't have been put on the pay-per-view too. Wow, such great fucking booking. I think you've had a little too much White Castle sliders, Bruce. Usos cause the DQ. Matt Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura get their title opportunity on SmackDown. Who the fuck cares? Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. What do you think happened? We saw this match a couple weeks ago. What did you think happened here? 50-50 booking. Rhea Ripley got rolled up and Liv Morgan beat Rhea Ripley. 50-50 booking after Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day were booked like beasts over the course of the last X amount of weeks. But yet here Rhea Ripley is losing and a 50-50 situation is made between herself and Liv Morgan. Why? Why? I get that Judgment Day has been handing Styles, Balor, and Morgan their asses, but I mean, come on, you can't put Liv Morgan in the ring against anybody else. Why did it have to be Rhea Ripley? Why did it have to be Rhea Ripley? It's fucking ridiculous. And not only that, Judgment Day ended up not standing tall in the end, so it's clear as day that the babyfaces are not winning on Sunday. I'm calling Ciampa to make his presence known at Hell in a Cell on Sunday. And then in the main event, get this, the main segment on the show was a fucking contract signing between Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Omos. I'm not even going over it. Just know that Lashley speared Omos through a table. That's it. That's all you need to know. I cannot stand the WWE product. It's just so fucking bad. I cannot stand the fucking WWE product. It is so fucking bad. I absolutely hate it. I really do. We got Dynamite. I will say, Dynamite was great. Dynamite was awesome, actually. Dynamite, probably the best episode of Dynamite that I've ever seen. This was a phenomenal fucking show. I can't even describe to you how good this episode was. But we're going to go over it little by little. But first things first, I greatly appreciate all of you sticking by me. You guys have been phenomenal since the get-go. Let us check the chat over here. See how many likes do we got? We still got 11 likes. We got 9 people watching right now. Let's see if we can get some more people in here. Let's get people sharing out the stream. Let's get more people in here. And see if we can get at least up to 15 likes, if you can. Let's get some more people in here. So, AEW Dynamite. Excellent show. We kicked off with CM Punk and FTR. They took on Max Caster and the Gun Club. This was a very fun tag team match. CM Punk clearly was injured. And if you want my thoughts on CM Punk and his injury, I talked about that at the beginning of the LFU. If you're just coming in, please go check that out after the stream has concluded. Now, I don't know what it is with the Gun Club and the Acclaimed, but oddly enough, this partnership is oddly entertaining. It's actually working. I don't know what it is. They just gel very well together. I like it. They're doing some pretty decent work. It's a nice sense of comic relief. So Dax was taking the brunt of the punishment before Austin and Caster, they were taken out by Punk and Cash. Coming back from commercial, Punk inevitably got the hot tag. He slipped on the top. He recovered. He launched Dax over the top onto Caster and Colton. Elbow drop to Austin. He then powerbombed Austin into Billy, hit the GTS on Austin, and then FTR came in with the big rig. Fun match. They cut a promo in the end, and obviously this resulted in Tanahashi coming out, and we thought we had a main event planned for Forbidden Door, but that obviously did not happen. So it looks like we are going to have to wait, and Punk is not going to be coming back until end of July, beginning of August. It looks like we're getting Moxley and Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. which I don't have any issue with at all. But it was a fun match to kick off the show. MJF then cut his promo. Again, if you want my thoughts on the MJF promo, all you need to do is go back to the beginning of the stream. After the MJF promo, we had Johnny Elite. He had an open challenge. And who was the man to answer the challenge? Who but Miro? It was Miro who answered the challenge. And Miro took on Johnny Elite. This was a decent little sprint. Miro was in full control very early. Coming back from commercial, he had a spinning side slam. Johnny Elite with a roundhouse kick, some stiff strikes, springboard enziguri, and a standing shooting star press for a 2. Miro then came back with a super kick. He locked in the game over, and he tapped out Johnny Elite. Miro, the Redeemer, is back with a vengeance. And Johnny Elite, he is not signed to AEW. He's on a pay-per-appearance deal, so I actually like what they're doing with Johnny Elite. I think Johnny Elite could be a solid addition to the mid-card for the time being. I don't see him sticking around long-term, but if they want to put him against Scorpio Sky, I'd love to see that. We had the Jericho Appreciation Society. Jericho Appreciation Society came out to address their win at Double or Nothing. Jericho soaked in the heat. Angelo Parker then took the mic. Annoying as ever is Angelo Parker, but he's so good. He goes, AEW Galaxy, appreciate us. I think Roman Reigns, he's not too happy with that line, but Angelo Parker, he's awesome. Angelo Parker's great. Daddy Magic got into it, and Jericho then said, you don't deserve to sing Judas. You deserve the winners of Anarchy in the Arena. He talked about the happenings on Sunday, talked about choking Bryan Danielson out, and every time we get sports entertainers versus pro wrestlers, sports entertainers always win. I'm a sports entertainer. I think I'd be a great sports entertainer. Give me a fucking microphone, and I could be a fantastic sports entertainer. Eddie Kingston then came out. Kingston said he's going to fight all of you right now, all of you all at once. He gave the mic to Regal, and William Regal said, blood and guts. And we have ourselves a match. We have ourselves a match for the 29th of June. It is Blood and Guts, the show after Forbidden Door, and it is going to be fucking amazing. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be great. Kingston then went to the ring. Jericho sent the Jericho Appreciation Society on Kingston. Ortiz then came from behind Jericho with the Mad Ball, and then he actually cut a piece of Jericho's hair. So Jericho agreed to Blood and Guts, but only if he gets a hair versus hair match with Ortiz, and it was confirmed. Jericho and Ortiz at AEW Road Rager on the 15th. Hair versus hair. Should be good. Should be good. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. 10-man tag. 10-man tag. This was fucking crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy. I loved every minute of it. It was the Young Bucks, Red Dragon, and Hikuleo versus Darby Allin, Matt Hardy, Christian Cage, and Jurassic Express. Crazy match. Really fun stuff. We had Jurassic Express in control early. Jungle Boy with Hurricane Rana to fish off the apron. Diving headbutt by Christian. We get into a big brawl. Everyone was diving on everyone. We had a super kick by, who was it? There we go. We had a super kick on Christian Cage. We had a couple of dives by the Young Bucks. Some crazy shit. Coming back from a commercial. Christian Cage with a double reverse DDT on the Bucks. Luchasaurus came in. He lit up everyone. Luchasaurus with a head scissor. Facebuster Destroyer by Jungle Boy. Chokeslam Moonsault combination by Luchasaurus for a 2. Hikuleo and Luchasaurus got into it. Darby came in. He lit up O'Reilly. A stunner on O'Reilly. On the floor, Red Dragon with Chasing the Dragon to Darby. Matt Hardy took on the Bucks by himself with the delete turnbuckle smashes. Did the same thing to Red Dragon. We had a spear off the apron by Christian Cage to Hikuleo. Super kicks to Matt Hardy. Super kicks to Jungle Boy. Super kicks to Luchasaurus. Total elimination on Matt Hardy. Meltzer driver on Jungle Boy, and the Young Bucks get the win. I can see the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express down the line. I don't think that the Young Bucks winning the titles back would be the best move. I actually do believe that they should keep it on Jurassic Express for the time being. Tony Schiavone, he interviewed Athena. She mentioned Jade Cargill. She mentioned how all streaks were made to be broken. And she said, I will be the one to break your streak. He goes, She goes that she's going to break her streak. Jade Cargill then came out. She interrupted. She said that I'm that bitch. Stokely Hathaway got into it. He called Jade a queen, a goddess, and the TBS champion. Kiera Hogan then got in Athena's face. Anna Jay and Chris Statlander came out as Stokely Hathaway called for security to end the segment. Very nice promo. Very nice tease for what is to come. And on Rampage, we were gifted Kiera Hogan versus Athena, which was a pretty solid match. And Athena, she looked damn good. She looked fucking happy to be there. Wardlow, he took on J.D. Drake. This was very academic. Powerbomb Symphony in full effect, and he wins. Smart Mark Sterling then came out, and he served him with a lawsuit. Wardlow said, fuck this. He powerbombed one of the security guards, and Wardlow then ripped up the contract papers, ate him, and spit him out. So Wardlow, obviously, this is going to be a slow build for Wardlow, and Wardlow, I can see him being the next TNT champion after Scorpio Sky has had a proper reign. Speaking of the TNT Championship was defended on Rampage between Dante Martin and Scorpio Sky. We're going to go over that in a little bit. But before that, we got a very good tag team match with Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm, and Ruby Soho. This was an awesome tag team match. Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker had some miscommunication. Obviously, that's setting up the turn, which I believe that Jamie Hayter will inevitably turn on Britt Baker. We had Baker and Hayter with some nice double team action. We had a swinging neck breaker on the floor. Ruby Soho was isolated coming back from commercial. Ruby Soho with a Saito suplex. Tag to Toni Storm. She lit up Hayter. German suplex, hip attack, and a tornado DDT. She then hit a DDT on the floor to Hayter. Ruby Soho, after Hayter took out Storm with the DDT, Toni Storm was out. Ruby Soho with a beautiful crossbody off of the top to the floor. Great stuff. Britt Baker with a sling blade on the floor. We had an Alabama slam by Toni. Tag to Ruby. We had a super kick by Baker. German suplex by Toni. We had a backbreaker by Hayter, and all four women are down. Great stuff right here. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." All four women were working their asses off. Hayter was then sent to the floor. We had no future, but Britt Baker kicked out. Lockjaw was reversed. Hayter with the assist. We had some back and forth counters. Hayter was then sent into Britt. Britt Baker then was locked in to Destination Unknown, the Blade Runner by Ruby Soho. Destination Unknown, and Britt Baker gets pinned. Ruby Soho with a much-needed win. A much-needed win over Britt Baker. I would absolutely love to see Ruby Soho in a title program with Thunder Rosa down the line. I think that would be awesome. Hayter then hit Ruby and Toni with the Owen Hart Cup Championship title belt, and her and Baker stood tall. So obviously, this is not over. I can absolutely see a rematch between Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm. I'd love to see that, if I'm going to be quite honest, and I hope we do see that in the coming weeks. And then in the main event was fucking great. Daniel Garcia and Jon Moxley. If you have not watched this match, I would highly encourage you to watch this match. This was Daniel Garcia's best match in AEW to date. And it's a match that showed many people that Daniel Garcia is someone to be taken seriously. Daniel Garcia is so fucking good, it is not even funny. He is so fucking good. So they took the fight right to each other. Some stiff strikes. Moxley was then sent headfirst into the steps. The cut that he got from the Anarchy in the arena match was busted open. We had a back superplex from the top on Garcia, or by Garcia on Moxley. Moxley then with an X-plex to Garcia on the steel steps. That looked fucking brutal. Moxley then mounted a comeback. We had a necklock suplex from the top by Moxley. Garcia with an arm trap elbow strike into a sleeper hold. Moxley with arm trapped elbow strikes. He transitioned into a cross arm breaker. We had an ankle lock transition by Garcia into an STF, almost like a legal stretch. So it was transition for transition for transition. Garcia then got caught with a backdrop suplex. He no-sold it. Then he hit a backdrop driver on Moxley into a pile driver. Moxley kicked out. Garcia locked in a sharpshooter, and he locked it in deep. Moxley countered back and forth. Moxley and Garcia crashed into the timekeeper's table. Jericho then came out to distract Moxley. He came out to distract Moxley. Kingston then attacked Jericho. Moxley hit the Bulldog choke and the Paradigm Shift. So it was Paradigm Shift first, and then he locked in the Bulldog choke. And Daniel Garcia, he passed out. So it looks like Jon Moxley is officially confirmed for Blood and Guts. So the AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley, will be inside Blood and Guts. And I say that we're going to get a great fucking match inside Blood and Guts. And Daniel Garcia, man, Daniel Garcia has really come a long way. You got to give a lot of credit to Daniel Garcia. He's doing some great work. As are 2.0. Really good stuff. And that was Dynamite. Awesome show. Probably the best Dynamite that I've ever fucking seen. And I'm very, very happy that we are on this ride. We're having such a great time watching AEW, and Double or Nothing, cherry on top of the cake. Forbidden Door is going to just add to that, as well as Blood and Guts. We got a lot of big shows coming for AEW this summer. I can't fucking wait for it. It's going to be good. NXT UK, that is. I wanted to review NXT UK this week specifically because we had a fantastic fucking main event. We had an excellent main event. 3 teams fought for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. It was Mustache Mountain, Dee Familia, and Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. We're going to talk about that once we get to that main event, but I feel as though that main event was worth talking about in itself, and the storyline between Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, that right there is going to be the one thing to watch out for in NXT UK. I think we could be on the verge of Gargano Ciampa in NXT UK between Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. I don't think it's going to be as good, but I think it's still going to be a great fucking story. Von Wagner was on the show. He took on Sam Gradwell. Gradwell's very good, but this was just a very, very standard match. Von Wagner won with the modified Rude Bomb. Listen, Von Wagner's getting better in the ring, but there's just no fucking reason to care about him. There's legit no character that Von Wagner has. Very, very lucky that he's paired with Robert Stone, but man, there's no investment in Von Wagner. There really isn't. But let me tell you something. Von Wagner, he's actually been winning matches on NXT. I would not be shocked if Von Wagner is going to fight Ilya Dragunov for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. Would not be shocked. Wouldn't be shocked. Meiko Satomura, she's actually taking on Ivy Nile next week for the NXT UK Women's Championship. So that should be a very good match. Angel Hayes, she took on Stevie Turner. Stevie Turner won with the side effect. Simple as that. Really nothing crazy. Next week, we also got Mark Andrews versus Kenny Williams. So that should be a damn good match. Very interested to see how that plays out. The main event was fucking awesome. It was Mustache Mountain, Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter and D Familia. This was for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. And it was an awesome fucking match. So we had 3 men in the ring. It was triple threat rules. 3 men in the ring. We had Tyler Bate, Oliver Carter, and Tio Man starting off this one. Very quick start. D Familia took over and used the apron against Ashton Smith and Trent Seven. They isolated Ashton Smith. Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter, they've really grown on me as a tag team. They're a great fucking tag team. So Smith stayed alive. Tyler Bate got the hot tag. We had a Hurricane Rana to Tio Man, uppercut to Tio Man, exploder suplex to Ashton Smith, springboard elbow by Tio Man, and a capo kick by Bate. Ashton Smith then hit double lariats. Really, really, really good stuff. We had a tag to Carter, and Carter hit a double drop kick and then a Frankensteiner axe kick combo on Bate. He hit a rock bottom on Tio Man for a 2. We had a PK to follow up. He tagged in Smith. He hit the assisted moonsault. Rohan Raja then slammed Smith onto Carter to break up the pin. Tio Man then hit a very nice looking boss man slam. Trent Seven came in, hit a dragon suplex. We had a big lariat by Ashton Smith. Everyone started to get their shit in. We had a rebound lariat by Bate on Tio Man, I believe it was. We had a pop-up into an airplane spin, crossface by Tio Man, moonsault by Carter onto both men to break up the submission hold. It was absolutely crazy. You got to go out to watch this match. It was a great match. We had a Tope Con Hero by Ashton Smith, and then Oliver Carter hit the Tope Con Hero. Trent Seven had Ashton Smith on the top rope. He hit a Super Emerald Frozen. Smith kicked out. Rohan Raja came in. He hit a backstabber. Trent Seven hit a super kick. Mustache Mountain then with the Burning Hammer. Tio Man almost didn't kick out. I believe it was on Tio Man, if I'm not mistaken. So Rohan Raja then grabbed the title. Smith then took it out. Smith then took him out, Smith took Rohan Raja out as Rohan Raja had the championship. We had a huge 7-star lariat by Trent Seven. Smith kicked out. Trent Seven then went for the title, and Bate stopped him. Bate did not want Trent Seven to use the nefarious means. Trent Seven was distracted as Ashton Smith rolled up Trent Seven, and Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter, they won the NXT UK Tag Team titles. Now, I don't know if I would have had Mustache Mountain lose the titles just yet. I would have had them hold it for a little bit longer. But, I mean, I can't say that I'm not happy for Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. Definitely a long time coming for them. And I am very, very happy that they finally got their moment. Really good stuff here. Excellent fucking match. Very happy for Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. Bate cost Trent Seven. Tyler Bate inadvertently cost Trent Seven. This is a great fucking thing. He inadvertently cost Trent Seven, and that right there is the catalyst for the turn. Trent Seven then walked away, and he said that he was done. Bate then stood in the ring confused. This is brilliant. This is undoubtedly the best thing going on in NXT UK right now. This was awesome. And congratulations to Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. I think that they're going to make a fine set of NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Really, outside of the main event, really nothing to go back and watch on NXT UK, if I'm going to be quite honest here. Just there. Just kind of there. Really nothing to go out of your way to watch. But the Trent Seven, Tyler Bate storyline, really good stuff right there. I'm loving that. We are an hour and 40 minutes into the stream. And I greatly appreciate everyone stopping by the stream. How you doing, Big Boy Johnny? Big Boy Johnny's a great dude. You guys have been fantastic all stream, and we got 2 more shows to go over, and then we can finally get the hell out of here. and enjoy our weekends. I will be back live on YouTube tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for the rewind for NXT In Your House 2022. And then on Monday, I will be live at 2 p.m. again for the rewind for not NXT, WWE, Hell in a Cell 2022. And then the Summer of Storms kickoff tour will officially be over. I will not be live for the LFU next week because it is my sister's graduation and my uncle's birthday. So I'm going to be relaxing. I'm going to be chilling. Should be a fun time. But as of right now, no stream next week. You guys can survive a week without me. But we still have 2 more shows to go over and 2 more streams to get to this weekend. So we're going to enjoy it. We're going to have some fun. You guys have been great since the get-go. Let's talk about SmackDown. Let's talk about how terrible SmackDown was. So, New Day kicked off the show. They talked about their victory last week with Drew McIntyre. They introduced Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre extended his love and prayers to Big E. He got the crowd to chant Big E. And he planned on challenging for the World Championship at WWE Clash at the Castle. And you can count on your boy, Big D, says Drew McIntyre. New Day, this was fucking cringy as shit. New Day then got Drew a gift, and it was a pair of shorts, a pair of New Day tie-dye shorts that said Big D. I mean, you cannot get any more cringy than that. This was fucking terrible. The Brawling Brutes then came out. That is the name for Pete Dunne, Butch, Ridge Holland, and Sheamus. Let me ask Bruce. I know Bruce Pritchard and fucking John Laurinaitis. I smoke 5 packs of cigarettes a day in the name of people power. I'd love to fucking know. Why exactly are they named the Brawling Brutes? That is such a terrible fucking name. Why not just call them the Fight Night Club? Oh, wait a minute. That has too much of a similarity to the Blackpool Combat Club on AEW television, and we can't have any similarities between the Blackpool Combat Club and WWE because that's pro wrestling. This is sports entertainment. What a terrible fucking name, the Brawling Brutes. Sounds like a fucking lame comic book heel stable. Brawling Brutes, such terrible fucking names. So we got a brawl going into commercial. Well, what do you think happened? I will give you guys one guess. What do you think happened? A 6-man tag team match. Rematch City. Rematch City all over the place. Who gives a fuck? I didn't even take notes. On this match. All I know, I didn't give a fuck. All I know is we got 50-50 booking. 50-50 fucking booking galore. Butch, Pete Dunne, hit the bitter end on Xavier Woods to get the win. Put me out of my misery. We had Max Dupree. This is LA Knight. Max Dupree. He said he's going to unveil his newest client of Maximum Male Models. And that's going to be next week. Listen, I think LA Knight's great. I think LA Knight is fantastic. He's a great promo. I've been loving his work. He is very good. He looks good in his suit. And I think that he could potentially be someone that I would love to tune into SmackDown to watch. But, I mean, I just can't get behind this. I just can't get behind it because you have to start all over again. You have to start all over again with LA Knight after he spent 14 months in NXT. He spent 14 months in NXT. 14 months in NXT under the name of LA Knight. He developed a great reputation for himself. He was over as fuck down in NXT. He had great feuds, great matches. And here he has to start all over as a fucking manager named Max Dupree. Why can't you just call them up with the name LA Knight? He's got to start all over. Now you have to make me care about Max Dupree. Meanwhile, the majority of people already cared about LA Knight because LA Knight is fucking great. No. We had the modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal. He took on Humberto Carrillo. And this is probably the best thing on the show right here. And I say that only because of fucking Shanky. Shanky has, sadly enough, Shanky's become the best fucking thing on the show, all because he's a fucking 7-foot giant that dances. And for some reason, people are taking a liking to Shanky. This is probably the best thing on SmackDown, and that's fucking sad. For the second week in a row, sadly, pathetically, Shanky's the best thing on SmackDown. Shanky dancing to the ring. Best thing about this entire match easily was Shanky dancing. Jinder was distracted. Humberto tried to roll him up. Jinder countered. He then rolled up Humberto to win the match, and Shanky was trying to convince Jinder to dance. And then he got Samantha Irving to dance. Him and Samantha Irving danced a little bit. There was a sign in the crowd that said, "Ice, Ice, Shanky." And that was it. Where's this going? I don't know. To be quite honest, I do not give a fuck. I don't. We had Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi, Aaliyah, Shayna, and Natalya, Xia Li. All of them were competing in a 6-pack challenge. This match didn't even go 5 minutes. Think about that. 6-pack challenge didn't even go 5 fucking minutes. How about that? Yeah, they had to fucking scramble to find Ronda Rousey, an actual fucking challenger. Who do you think won this match? Was it the predictable Raquel Rodriguez? No, they actually gave it to Natalya. They actually gave this shit to Natalya. Shotzi was said to have locked Aaliyah in the SmackDown women's locker room, but Aaliyah ended up getting out. Yeah, it's such compelling television. Such compelling TV, huh? Aaliyah and Shotzi are feuding because they're each locking each other in the fucking women's locker room. Wow. So this match was very, very sloppy. Aaliyah was actually taken out by Shayna Baszler. Shotzi hit a jumping DDT on Shayna. Natalya took out Lee. Raquel Rodriguez then came in. She dropped Shotzi onto Natalya. She missed the spinning Vader bomb. She hit the Terra bomb. You know what? Shotzi was actually on top of Natalya at one point. Shotzi was actually on top of Natalya at one point, and they didn't fucking count the 1, 2, 3. They didn't count the 1, 2, 3. Shotzi was on top of Natalya at one point, and the ref, like a fucking dumbass, didn't even count the 1, 2, 3. So the Terra bomb was hit. Shayna Baszler then hit a sleeper on Raquel Rodriguez, and Natalya pinned, I believe it was Shotzi, if I'm not mistaken, to score the 1, 2, 3. This was fucking terrible. Really. This was terrible. And Natalya, she's fighting Ronda Rousey. Didn't Natalya fight Ronda Rousey last time? Why is Ronda Rousey even back? Didn't Natalya put over Ronda Rousey in her first run? Oh, wait a minute. You don't have a fucking division. You don't have a fucking division. I'm telling you right now, if we get this, you know what's going to be the scene? You know what's going to be the scene? Whenever this match takes place, you know what I'm going to do? Oh, no. And then Natalya and Ronda Rousey and Natalya. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go lay on my fucking pillow and I'm gonna pass out. Snooze fest on the way. Madcap Moss. He came out of the ambulance. He actually looked like a fucking beast. He's got black trunks. He's got black wrist tape. He's got black knee pads. He looks like a new fucking man. No smiles. Oh, by the way, Lacey Evans is actually returning to SmackDown next week. So she was moved from SmackDown to Raw, and then from Raw back to SmackDown. They can't decide what to fucking do with Lacey Evans. So Madcap Moss, he actually came out with new music too. New gear, serious attire. He said that Madcap Moss is gone. Good. Riddick Moss has potential to go farther than Madcap Moss. He goes, the man that would take Corbin's crap every week isn't just gone. I buried him. Yeah, that's funny. Looks like you and Bruce Pritchard may have something in common. You buried your shitty character while Bruce Pritchard is burying Mustafa Ali. Who would have thought? He goes, I keep having this dream where I'm hitting Corbin in the face, and I'm pretty sure all of you would love to see that. So Corbin, you human fedora rack, get your sorry ass out here. Corbin came out and claimed that Madcap Moss missed him. Moss said he wants to knock Corbin's teeth down his throat. Pierce then came out and said, it sounds like a great idea. Match is made official. Who gives a shit? This match went a minute and a half. It ended in a DQ with Madcap Moss beating the shit out of Corbin, only for Madcap Moss and Corbin to inevitably get another match made for Hell in a Cell tomorrow in a no-holds-barred match. Why not? Again, just like the Mustafa Ali Austin Theory scenario. Why didn't you just book that match to begin with? Why did we need to get a match on SmackDown in order to set up a match at the fucking pay-per-view? Nonsensical garbage. Oh, by the way, you want to hear something here? Ricochet and Gunther confirmed for the IC title next week, but yet it's not on Hell in a Cell. Yet Bobby Lashley and Omos and MVP are on Hell in a Cell, and Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin, they're on Hell in a Cell. Yeah. What a way to make your championships feel special. Shinsuke Nakamura and Matt Riddle, they took on the Usos. This was for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. The action started out hot out of the gate. We had a double spine buster by the Usos. Shinsuke Nakamura came in, saved the match. He actually kneed the steps. He then got super kicked in his knee. The referee threw up the X sign. Now, reportedly, Shinsuke Nakamura is injured. I'm not sure if it's a work or if it's legit, but I'd like to hope that he's not completely injured and he will be fine in the end. I'd like to hope that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to stick around because let me tell you something, WWE can't afford to lose any more talent. They barely have a fucking roster as we fucking speak, if we're going to be quite honest here. But we got officials coming out to check on Nakamura. It seemed like a work, but Riddle, he went out on his own. Coming back from commercial, Riddle mounted a comeback with some exploder suplexes, brotons, a PK, and a springboard floating bro. We had a snap power slam and a draping DDT. Riddle went for the RKO, but Jimmy countered with a pop-up Samoan drop for a 2. All of a sudden, Roman's music hits. We had a super RKO on Jimmy. Jay made the tag, and the Usos, after hitting the Uso splash to Jay, the Usos retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and it was actually confirmed. It was actually confirmed that we saw Sami Zayn in the back. Sami Zayn was the one that clicked the button to play Roman's music, and boom, there you go. So then we get a big brawl in the end, and Riddle, I like this serious Riddle. I like this serious Riddle because this serious Riddle, this is what's going to take Matt Riddle up to the next level. The more serious Matt Riddle is, the better. So I hope that shit continues. I hope that shit keeps up. Now, I don't know if Roman is still confirmed for Money in the Bank, but if he is, I think the match with Matt Riddle and Roman Reigns would be a great fucking match. I'm very much looking forward to that match if it is indeed true. AEW Rampage was a very good episode of AEW Rampage. A lot of good stuff on the show. I already talked about the CM Punk promo. So again, if you want my thoughts on the CM Punk promo and that incident, please go and Go back to the beginning of the stream. You will hear my thoughts on it right then and there. The opening match, absolutely the best opening match in Rampage history. Maybe even the best match in Rampage history. I think this may have been the best match in Rampage history. This was a live Rampage, by the way, and this was a great fucking show. Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks kicked off the show. The crowd was fucking hot. Crowd was hot. Really good stuff right here. Ray, Phoenix, and Nick got into it. We had double roundhouse kicks and double kip-ups. The Bucks with some planches onto Phoenix. Penta with a beautiful Tope Con Hero over the top. Phoenix with a corkscrew torpedo dive to the outside. Crowd was fucking electric. We had a PK by Nick. Hurricane Rana to Penta. We had a cutter by Phoenix on the floor to Matt Jackson. Coming back from commercial, we had Locomotion Northern Lights suplexes by Matt Jackson. An assisted senton. Phoenix then kicked out. Phoenix with a Hurricane Rana to Matt. Double stomp DDT to Nick on the floor. Then Matt in the ring, he caught a double stomp DDT. That got a 2 count. We had a torpedo dive by Phoenix. Made in Japan by Penta. Frog splash by Phoenix. Matt just kicked out. We had springboard drop kicks reversed into a Hurricane Rana by Penta. This was great. Springboard drop kick into a reverse Rana. So picture this. Picture Phoenix on Penta's shoulders, and Matt Jackson hit a springboard drop kick to Ray Phoenix, and that sent Ray Phoenix back and sent Penta back into a reverse Rana right on the crown of his head. It looked fucking brutal. Phoenix then with a hook kick, and then we had a kick by Penta. Phoenix, another crazy spot in this match. Phoenix was on Penta's shoulders while Penta was on the middle rope. Phoenix with a fucking splash off of Penta's shoulders while Penta was on the middle rope. Penta hit a Canadian Destroyer. Nick kicked out of the splash. We had a super kick and a reverse Rana by Nick Jackson on Ray Phoenix. Super kick party in full effect. Meltzer driver, but Phoenix kicked out. Penta then got his mask ripped off. Super kick to Penta. And then a BTE trigger to Phoenix, and the Bucks win. A fucking phenomenal opening match. Probably the best match of the entire week, minus the Anarchy in the Arena match. This was fucking amazing. Amazing. If you haven't watched Rampage, go out of your way to watch Rampage right now. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Team Taz was in action on Rampage. They don't get paid by the fucking hour. Team Taz, they were in tag team action. They took on a couple of opponents in which I didn't even get their names. And Will Hobbs ended up getting the victory. Quick victory with a spine buster. Will Hobbs got the victory with a very nice spine buster for the 1-2-3. They don't get paid by the fucking hour. Team Taz, I can absolutely see Team Taz as a potential contender for the tag team titles against Jurassic Express in the near future. That's for sure. Kiera Hogan, she took on Athena. It's a pretty solid match right here. Athena, she looked fucking awesome. I'm loving what Athena's doing. So we had a back and forth early on. Springboard crossbody by Athena. This was actually a great spot right here. Athena, she faked out a dive. She stopped, and then she picked up the pace and she hit the suicide dive as if she was running the entire time. I don't know where the explosivity came from, but Athena, really nice dive. A fake out, and then she waited for the proper time, and then a quick dive at short distance. Very nice stuff there from Athena. The dive hit very flush. Red Velvet then dropped Athena on the apron behind the referee's back. Hogan then took over. Coming back from commercial, Athena with an explosive fucking drop kick. Remind me never to get on Athena's bad side because I do not want to be on the receiving end of that fucking drop kick. Athena, then she hit some nice strikes and a handspring elbow. Hogan took Athena off the top. Hogan with a nice Hurricane Rana off the top. Sliding drop kick in the corner. Athena kicked out. Athena then caught with a rolling elbow. Both women were on the top. Athena sent Kiera Hogan to the floor. And then Athena, the beautiful fucking diving stunner. Love it. She hit the Eclipse. Falling Goddess with the falling stunner. And Athena gets the 1, 2, 3. Very good stuff. Very solid stuff. Athena looks great. And Athena is on the up and up. Athena's on the up and up. I'm loving it. We have the CM Punk promo. If you want my thoughts on the CM Punk promo, again, go back to the beginning of the stream. I talked about the CM Punk promo as well as the MJF situation. So if you want to hear that, just go back to the beginning of the stream after the stream is over. Main event. We had a decent little sprint of a main event. Only went about 10 minutes. It was Scorpio Sky and Dante Martin for the TNT Championship. Obviously, this was cut a little bit short because of CM Punk's promo, but these two pulled out a pretty decent match. Scorpio Sky was using his power against Dante early on. Dante tried to slow the pace down. Coming back from commercial, Dante with a huge dive over the top. Scorpio Sky gets taken out. We had a big shotgun dropkick for a 2. We had a back and forth. Dante Martin with a TKO. Scorpio Sky kicked out. We had a huge crossbody by Dante Martin. Scorpio Sky rolled through. He then hit a big leaping stomp. That got a 2. We had Scorpio Sky dropping Dante Martin on the ropes before Scorpio Sky inevitably hit a very nice looking TKO for the 1, 2, 3. And Scorpio Sky retains the TNT Championship. And I'm loving what Scorpio Sky is doing. I think Scorpio Sky is going to be a very, very good TNT champion. He's not doing too bad for himself thus far. So let's see what else Scorpio Sky can make do with as the TNT champion. We went through it pretty quick. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. You guys were great. Thank you to all who joined. We hit the goal of 15 likes, and I hope to hit the goal of 20 likes as the days go on. I appreciate every single one of you. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the videos that you missed. Check out all those links in the description. Tomorrow, rewind for NXT In Your House 2022 at 2. And then on Monday, the rewind for Hell in a Cell at 2 p.m. as well. I'll be off next week for family matters. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I will catch you guys tomorrow for the rewind for NXT In Your House. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. Go enjoy your Saturdays. And remember, people, who runs the IWC? Who but DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you forget it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.